So we discussed the first heading, decline of Mughals, and I gave you the 3 points. 1707, Aurangzeb died, and when he died, administration was efficient, Mughals had respect, army was strong. But then I gave you the gist in one page that because of Bahadur Shah, Jahandar Shah, Farrukh Siyar, and finally Muhammad Shah, administration collapsed, Mughal emperor lost respect, and army was over. And that was the end of Mughal Empire. But when Mughal Empire collapsed, second is heading, Indian states and society. This is the second heading of NCERT. Very crucial heading, Indian states and society. Now when Mughal Empire collapsed, there were the emergence of regional states. Regional. And there were two types of regional states. First one, succession states. Succession means the states whose rulers were formerly the governors of particular provinces, like Bengal, Awadh, Hyderabad. They were called as succession states. Second type of state was rebellious. These states were born out of rebellion. They were born out of rebellion. Jat, Maratha, Afghan, Punjab. So on the debris, when Mughal Empire collapsed, on the debris of Mughal Empire, they were present. The two types of states, succession states, they were the offshoot of Mughals. Rebellious state, those who came into existence because of the revolt they have done against Mughal Empire. Apart from this, there were certain areas which were never under the control of Mughals. Southwest, Kerala. Southeast, Tamil Nadu. Northeast, they were the areas which were never under the control of Mughals. There was no Mughal influence in those areas. Which areas? Southwest, Kerala. Southeast, Tamil Nadu. Northeast, Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, etc. Now, Britishers have to fight with these states. This is a very important point. Britishers have to fight with these states to become the ruler of Hindustan. This you have to write the complete line and in box. Britishers did not have to face the might of Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire was over, collapsed. 1739, Mughal Empire was collapsed. 1740s, Anglo-Carnatic War. There was no Mughal Empire. Then with whom they fought? This should be clear. Then with whom they fought? They fought with these states. Either succession states or rebellious states. What was the nature of these states? First nature. They adopted Mughal structure. They followed or they adopted Mughal structure. Jagirdari system, land revenue policy. They followed or they adopted Mughal structure. They were non-communal in approach, non-communal. They gave preference to Hindus and Muslims. Both these regional states. So they followed or adopted Mughal structure. They did not tried to invent a new structure. The same structure which has collapsed, they followed the same or they adopted it. They were non-communal in their approach. They failed to overcome the economic crisis of 18th century. Failed. The economic crisis, the financial bankruptcy which led to the collapse of Mughal Empire, they failed to overcome. They failed to consolidate and strengthen their position. This diagram is very important. See, I have told you. Finally, I will give you all these diagrams. Let this lockdown over. Then I will give you the slides of these diagrams. And you can have it officially. But when I draw it here, please you also draw. So, 1739, now again see the law of connectivity. 1739, Mughal Empire is collapsed. 1740s, Anglo-Carnatic War. When Mughal Empire is over, then with whom these English were fighting? They were fighting with these either succession states or rebellious states. British has to fight with these states to become the ruler of Hindustan. Their feature was they followed Mughal structure or they adopted Mughal structure. Non-communal in approach. Muslim rulers had Hindu officers, Hindu rulers had Muslim officers. They failed to overcome the economic crisis of 18th century. That was a big drawback for them. And then they failed to consolidate and strengthen their position. Now I will give you the outline of all the major states. First state, sir, I tell you with guarantee, this is the first time anyone is running this program in India. First time. I'm not saying that I'm the only one to know about this. There are many people who know about this. But I can tell you with guarantee, sir, if you understood the concept of CQ which I am giving you, and I'm saying it, you have to develop it. Once you learned it from NCERT, the law of connectivity, concept and consolidation. So Britishers have to fight basically with whom? Basically with either succession states or rebellious states. So which is the first state? Hyderabad, Carnatic. Hyderabad, who was the founder? Nizamul Mulk Asaf Jha, 1724. And I told you why he left Delhi. He was a very talented man, very capable man. But when the boss was not listening, what is the use to be with the boss who will destroy himself and then you also? He leaves 1724. And this was the beginning of the physical breakup of Mughal Empire. I discussed in the previous study. Nizam al-Mulk. He never declared, openly he never declared himself as independent. Openly he never declared himself as an independent. But he acted as an independent ruler. Acted as an independent ruler. Independent ruler, although he never declared, and he implemented Jagirdari system in Deccan. Means the same thing, Jagirdari crisis, which later on became the main reason for the collapse of Mughal Empire. Same system, Jagirdari system. This state became the check on Marathas and Mysore. It was a check on Maratha and Mysore. And this state opened the door. This is very important point. Opened the door for the conquest of India. I'll discuss in the next chapter. This state opened the door for the conquest of India. Hyderabad. This we'll discuss in the next chapter. How? So Nizam al-Mulk was a talented man. Talented man. He carves out an independent principality for him. That is true. But the same system, same. Jagirdaari. Same system. Which became the main reason for the collapse of Mughal Empire was adopted by him. He was a check on Maratha and Nizam, Maratha and Mysore. But this state, after the death of Nizam al-Mulk, became the door for the, opened the door for the conquest of India. Carnatic was one of the Suba of Mughal Suba in Deccan. And Carnatic was under the charge of Hyderabad. But as Hyderabad became independent from Delhi, Carnatic became independent from Hyderabad. It was one of the Mughal Subas, Carnatic. And as Hyderabad became independent from Delhi, Carnatic became independent from Hyderabad. Founder Sadatullah Khan. Sadatullah Khan. Followed by Dost Ali. Tension started during the time of Anwaruddin. He is the man when the tension starts. And finally, a man who became the victim of foreign struggle for the dominance of India was Chanda Sahib. Both the states, this is the thing which you have to remember, both the states opened the door for the conquest of India. Bengal. Bengal. Who's the founder? Murshid Quli Khan. Murshid Quli Khan is the founder. Shujauddin is a very famous ruler. And Ali Vardi Khan. Founder. You have to write the heading. Founder. Murshid Quli Khan. Shujauddin. Ali Vardi Khan. The man who became the victim of East India Company was Siraj-ud-Dawla. How he became victim, this we will discuss in the next chapter. So fourth person, you can leave it. We'll discuss in the next chapter how Siraj-ud-Dawla became the victim. This is the first thing to know, founders. Second thing, important steps of these rulers. See the steps. First step, they suppressed the rebellious Jamindars. So when these rulers, they said we don't have any connection with Delhi. We don't accept Delhi as the supreme authority. So the Zamindar said fine, then we also don't accept you as the authority here in Bengal. We will not give you the tax. They suppressed them. First step, suppression of rebellious Zamindars. Second step, reorganizing the finances. Biggest challenge was finance. Reorganizing the finances, especially revenue farming. Everyone was passing through financial crisis. So the main target of every ruler was to collect the money. And the easiest way to collect was revenue farming. Ijaredari. And that was a big drawback to the farmer and the state. Because a good part of agriculture produce was taken away by the middlemen, contractors, revenue farming. Third, when they suppress the rebellious zamindars, they have to give the zamindaris to the new section. The foundation of new landed aristocracy. Foundation of new landed aristocracy. Who can provide immediate money? Money lenders. They purchase the zamindaris. Foundation of new landed aristocracy in Bengal. And fourth, promotion to trade and commerce. By maintaining the custom houses, by maintaining the law and order. There are two types of reforms basically. You should be very clear. One is basic reforms. Basic. Other is beauty parlor reforms. Beauty parlor reform means you have to give the beauty immediately. You have to give the beauty immediately. Neglect the natural beauty. Neglect the real beauty. Beauty parlor reforms. The country is passing through crisis. There are two types of reforms. One is basic reforms. Like for example, India is a developing country. Employment is a very big issue. Now, when employment is a very big issue, the state has a responsibility to provide the employment. Now, one thing you can do, you can establish industries in large part of this country, but that will take time. And you have given promises to the people. You have given dreams to the people. When you will establish industries, that will take time. So you have to do something very immediately, urgently. Manrega, promotion to Manrega. That is an easy thing. Beauty parlor reforms. Immediate benefit to the people. So, see, basic reforms are missing. Basic reforms are missing. Why India is weak today? Basic reforms are missing. Government is taking the step of immediate reforms, immediate. End of planning commission, Niti Ayog. Then the Prime Minister starts roaming an entire world for what? FDI. Then he gives the slogan, Make in India, not Made in India. He invites the companies from the foreign countries, please come. But you see, India is passing through depression. So you will see some improvement in beauty parlor reform. You will see some improvement, but by chance you just think, a lady goes into the beauty parlor, and when she comes out from the beauty parlor, heavy rain, 200 centimeter rainfall. Eyeliner is here, lipstick is here. Condition will be very critical. None of them. This is the first thing which you have to keep in your mind. None of them tried to do basic reforms. Everyone did superficial reforms. Immediate target to maintain political and economic stability. Suppression of zamindars, reorganization of finances by revenue farming and all. Foundation of new landed aristocracy, because the section which can provide immediate money is money lenders. And then promotion to trade and commerce by maintaining law and order and custom houses. Now the third thing which we have to discuss in every state is drawbacks. Drawbacks. Rent extracting state. Rent extracting. The state is bothered about only taking the rent. It's not bothered about the condition of the farmers. It's not bothered about the welfare of the farmers. Rent. This is the biggest drawback. What will happen? India is an agricultural country. Majority section will be farmers. So that majority section will not be attached to the states. This is the first drawback of major states of 18th century. Rent extracting. Rent extracting states. They were bothered only about rent extracting. Second thing, now when you are bothered only about rent, you are not doing the reforms, farmers will be in trouble, agriculture will be in trouble, agriculture and farmer are bound to be in trouble. You see, agriculture is, you will hear about agriculture is committing suicide in different parts of the country. Because anyone, you see the difference between Bihar and Punjab? What is the difference between Bihar and Punjab? Bihar has the most fertile land in India. To say word, it will not be exaggeration. Bihar has the most fertile land in India. But richest state in Punjab. Reason? Punjab has both the limbs. Agriculture, industry. Plus a good section is in Canada. Agriculture provides periodical income. Agriculture provides periodical employment. Anyone who will be dependent only on agriculture will suffer from financial crisis. So when your objective is only to extract the rent, farmers will not be able to pay. So cruelty, torturing the farmers, beating the farmers, that will again alienate the people from the state. Cruelty. Third, unable to control the military action of foreign companies. You can imagine the thought process of the rulers of 18th century. Reliance goes and establishes a trading center in America, and then Reliance takes military action in America. French, Dutch, English, they all were trading companies. But in many cases, they used to take military action against the native rulers. But rulers always thought that they are trading companies. They will never be able to do a big harm to India. Fourth, failed to control the prevailing corruption. Whenever the state will be weak, whenever the state will be in trouble, whenever, corruption will be the natural phenomenon. Everyone will try to hoard whatever he is getting. Whenever there will be uncertainty, no one knows what will happen in future. See, corruption is a part of human being. It will be there to an extent. When it increases, there are many reasons for it. And one of the reasons is uncertainty. No one knows what will happen in future. So everyone is trying to hoard. Whatever you are getting, keep it. And fifth drawback, the new landed aristocracy lacked experience. Old zamindars, knowledge is not important. You learn about swimming, you take a book of swimming, read about it, prepare the notes, learn every point one by one, consolidate it, jump into the water. You will die. Knowing the norms of swimming and entering into a water is a different thing. So in general, people were in trouble. First drawback, the state was rent extracting. They wanted money at any cost. Give the money. They were facing financial crisis. Second, cruelty. Third, unable to control the military actions of foreigners. Failed to nab the corruption. And new landed aristocracy lacked experience. So in general, the independent state of Bengal, founded by Murshid Quli Khan, ruled by Shujauddin and Ali Wardi Khan, was facing internal unrest. This is very important. In general, just encircle everything, see everything, and write in general, although Murshid Quli Khan founded a new state of Bengal, but in general, Bengal was facing the unrest internally, in which a large part of population was suffering under oppression, corruption, misrule, etc. So when this will be the condition, and when change will try to take place, people will be ready for the change. Possibly the new change will give us the better option. If the previous one is better, they will not turn to the new thing. But if previous one is worse, feudalism was worse, so communism became a new hope for the farmers and workers. You see Russian Revolution? Later on, communism also became worse for them. But initially, it was a hope for the people of farmers of Russia, laborers of Russia. This will be the gist of this Bengal. Murshid Quli Khan was the founder. On the debris of Mughal Empire, Murshid Quli Khan was successful in establishing an independent state of Bengal, which was able to give a good administration for a good period of time. But then, internally, there was unrest in Bengal. After Bengal, Awadh. Awadh. Again, the three headings. Same three headings. Awadh. Founders. Saadat Khan. Burhan al-Mulk. Saadat Khan Burhan al-Mulk. He was the founder. Then Safdar Jang, very famous Nawab ruler of Awadh, Safdar Jang. You have a hospital here, many of Safdar Jang tomb and all, many things here in Delhi. Saadat Khan Burhan al-Mulk, Safdar Jang. The man who became the victim of East India Company was Shujauddin. Friend come dependent from 1765. We'll discuss it later on. Friend come dependent. 1765 to 1856. Friend come dependent. And in 1856, the last man who was kicked out was Wajid Ali Shah. But they had a long period of friendship with East India Company, but that friendship was of no use because friend come dependent. They were not allowed to do anything independently. They were only allowed to keep the crown, have the wine and the liquor, watch mujra and dance, finish. Important steps again, second heading. Important steps. Again the same formula. Whenever you will defy the higher authority, the authorities below you will try to defy you. So when they tried to defy the Mughal emperor, everyone was clear that the status of Mughal emperor was over. So everyone wanted to be independent. So suppressed rebellious zamindars. These zamindars knew that there is no Mughal authority. You are not going to pay this revenue to the Mughals. So when you are not going to pay this revenue to the higher authority in Delhi, why should I pay to you? Suppressed. But then, after suppressing the rebellious zamindars, they did revenue reforms. fresh revenue settlement in Awadh. Fresh revenue settlement in Awadh, which was based on the welfare of farmers. Based on the welfare of farmers. Non-communal in approach. Non-communal. Bengalis, they were also non-communal in approach. Non-communal. Hindus were on the higher positions. And the reason why this happened, it was a compulsion for them. The scribe class, scribe, munim, writers, that was the monopoly of Hindus, Kayast and Brahmins. Like CA and CS today. Accounting cannot be done by everyone. It's a very technical job. And from ancient times, the job of accounting was basically in the hand of Hindus. Kayast community. That is the community of scribes. Brahmins, education was their monopoly. So it was not possible for ruler of any religion to neglect the Hindus, especially these scribes. Non-communal in approach. And a very important development was Lucknow emerged as a new center of culture in North India. Emergence of Lucknow as a new center of culture in North India. Drawbacks. 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 They did the fresh revenue settlements. They bothered about the welfare of the farmers, no doubt. But then the core theme was extraction of rent. Economy. No one was in a situation to do basic reforms. No one was having the time. No one was having the time. Internal threat, external threat. If you become weak, internally the zamindars will suppress you. Externally the foreign companies will suppress you. Externally your neighbor will suppress you. And growth and development requires peace and stability. Every infant state requires peace and stability. So neither Bengal, nor Awadh, nor Hyderabad, they were not having the time. They were facing the challenges on all the front. So they have to collect the money immediately. They also remained, finally, the main objective was extracting the rent. Second drawback. Complete reliance on East India Company from 1765. Complete reliance on East India Company. They became the most obedient disciple of East India Company in India. Everything in the state was done under the guidance of the resident. So finally, rulers neglected all the affairs of the state. Complete reliance on East India Company. Most obedient disciple of East India Company. Whatever company said, they carried on. This weakened the status of the Nawabs. And then 1856, Dalhousie takes the ground of mismanagement. He accuses the Nawab, you are not able to manage. The people are suffering. But suffering because of whom? You. And Awadh comes to an end. Awadh comes to an